The Yoruba Tennis Club is set to kick off activities marking its centenary anniversary with a landmark intellectual engagement which will feature Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka on February 5 at the Yoruba Tennis Club, Onikan, Lagos. The event, a special centenary seminar series, is designed to formally signal the commencement of the club's 100th anniversary celebrations and underscore its long-standing role as a meeting point for culture, intellect, and civic discourse. The club's centenary celebration is themed "A Century at the Forefront of History and Tradition," and it is expected to feature a series of activities aimed at reflection and idea-driven engagement. Now joining me in the studio are the chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Engineer Chief Olawunmi Gasper. Chairman, thank you for joining us on This Day Live.
Thank you very much.
And he's also here with the Vice Chairman, and that's Sir Babatunde Sobamowo. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Let's start at the beginning. September, I think, 15?
September 15, 1926.
1926,
Yeah.
now to the year 2026. The oldest indigenous social club in Nigeria. What's the background? I heard that Yoruba Tennis Club had to be established because black people were not allowed to go to Ikoyi Club 1938. Is that the truth? Or
well, yes, it is.
Okay.
Interestingly, the early decades and the 20th century, Lagos was learning to define itself. And you now had educated Africans working with the colonial administrators. And these were very fluent and competent young professionals, but they were excluded from the space. What's the space? The space was the engagement, belonging to social clubs. And social clubs itself is not only for leisure. It's for legitimacy, it's for recognition, it's for belonging. And as young professionals, they thought, look, we went to the same schools with this guy, we went to Oxford, we went to Cambridge, we went to Glasgow, we went to Dublin. Why should we be excluded? And they thought, well, it's not a matter of carrying placards and all that. Let's look at the different path. And the different path they decided to form to meet at 75 Tukumbo Street on the island to form a social club called Ore. Friendship is good. Oroludun. They formed that. And they essentially to dine, to wine, leisure, relationship, and all that. Later on in September of that same year, they decided to change the name to Yoruba Tennis Club, from Oroludun to Yoruba Tennis Club. And it was not a war of declaration of tribe. It was that of ownership. And why did I say that? Because if the club then was called European Club, which has been transformed to the Lagos Lawn Tennis Club now, they decided, why, if it's European Club, Yoruba then was a nation, let's call it Yoruba Tennis Club. So it was the declaration of ownership to say, this is we, this is who we are, and gradually, very bright young professionals then, Viade Allen, R. Adewale Randu, Ade Adeniji, and of course, Herbert Macaulay, young, and given a location somewhere around Onikan, later on, that was taken away from them, another location. But the very good thing about them was it was an intellectual engagement because they realized that independence was coming. And they focused very much on intellectual engagement to say, look, let us start practicing or preparing leadership. How do we get leaders that would fill in the gaps that will be at independence? So luckily enough, that worked very well. Independence came. They were very prominent. Most of those who drove the programs were harvested from those young professionals from Yoruba Tennis Club. Again, the military came. Prominently, the military, relied on these same young professionals who are basically lawyers, engineers, judges, all around, for most of the programs that were reeled out post-war by the military regime then. So it's evolved in the 30s and the 40s. In the 70s, the Ladies' Week came to support the welfare, and it became more of a family club. And then now we have the 100th anniversary. We'll have preponderance of young members now. We can say about 80% of our membership, young, cerebral, young members, okay. Professionals, and that's the...
Let me ask the Vice Chairman, Vice Chairman Sobamowo, what will you define, or what will you say are the defining moments in the last 100 years in the history of the club, major highlights, or if you like, achievements, beyond the fact that it addressed the apartheid at inception that existed in the social scene in Lagos?
Oh, yes, thank you. In the last 100 years, there's been a lot of activities in terms of developmental activities. If you go to Yoruba Tennis Club now, we have Greetings Hall, which was built in the 90s. And we have an Olympic-sized lawn tennis court also that is a pride of Nigeria, and they can play any world-class tennis there. But more importantly, what I would say about Yoruba Tennis Club, about its uniqueness in Nigeria, aside from being the oldest indigenous sports and social club in Nigeria, it has certain characteristics that other clubs don't have. Even taking us back, when we joined also, we were in our 40s. Myself and the chairman, we were in our 40s, and we've been there for close to 30 years now. And, you learn a lot of things. We are custodian of culture. That's one thing that, puts us ahead of every other club in Nigeria. And also, let me tell you about a few other things also that distinguishes Yoruba Tennis Club from any other club in Nigeria. So we take a pride of place as being the #1 club in Nigeria today. We have initiation ceremonies. You see, the founders of this club exuded a lot of love and brotherhood, and that is translated in a kind of initiation ceremonies that we have. Is pure love, and that translates into the way and manner we deal with each other in that club. Another one which comes to mind is Ikase ceremonies. What I mean by that is Ikase ceremony is when you are long gone, like I said, we are custodian of culture. We ensure that you are culturally removed from the club, so to say, so that it also makes us very unique. Then we have Abalabi also. These are some of the things that we are going to...
You operate like, a society.
Not a society.
A traditional society.
No, like I said, it's a cosmopolitan club. So we embody, we take care of culture. We take care of so many things. We are political. We make sure that we are opinion leaders also. You see, if you go through the history of Yoruba Tennis Club, the assemblage of people that have passed through Yoruba Tennis Club are unimaginable. Chief Justice of the Federation, notable people, professionals, of what you can think about. And also the unique thing about Yoruba Tennis Club is the way and manner we do election. I wish Nigeria can take a cue from that. The trustees are the custodians of all our cultures, and they ensure that they choose, the right people to lead the affairs of the club. That has been in the last 100 years. In fact, I can tell you from history, he's the 40th chairman of the club. So that tells you that it's painstaking, and we take to make sure that there's no is avoid of rancor, no ill feelings and everything, and we all we all go by it. And also just by way of we have respect respect. That's very key for the elderly ones, and it's reciprocal also. We extend it to the younger ones also. So it's a club that is after our hearts, and I think it's worth celebrating 100 years. And we look forward to another 100 years after we have long gone.
But when you say Yoruba Tennis Club, does it mean that membership is restricted only to Yoruba people? Because all this Ikase, Abalabi, non-Yorubas will not probably understand.
No, they will. You see, let me tell you also, historically, we have a lot of members from the north. Yeah. And as recently as when I was the secretary of the club, the former governor of Bauchi State, Alhaji Isa Yuguda, it was initiated. We had other members also, like
you initiate people. You don't induct members. You initiate them.
Well, whichever way, it's a matter of language and representation. Induction, initiation is the same thing. You can interchange it. What it means is, looking at address, it's a pure, nothing, untoward at all. We are gentlemen, per se.
Chairman Alayideno, then you remember Alayideno from Taraba. Yes. He was a member. We had Igwe. He was a member. We had Basi, we had Ekpenyo, we had Asukwanis. So it's not, like I said, the name Yoruba then was a declaration of, at that time, ownership.
Okay. Chairman, let me ask you, Professor Wole Soyinka is going to give a lecture on February 5, but September 15 is the main day. So you want to celebrate for the whole year. So what are the specific
activities?
Yes.
You see, like I said, the strength of Yoruba Tennis Club is in intellectual engagement. And we're after substance, not spectacles. And that is why we've started with the seminar series. We're going to have 3 seminars back to back. And have a mini lecture and have the one that we're all expecting. We don't know what to say that now, but you can guess who will be the guest lecturer for September 15, because it's going to be a big one. 100 years is not a joke. So we have several activities lined up. Apart from the seminars and lecture, we have the cultural activities. A whole week exhibiting food, exhibiting clothing, exhibiting dance, whatever. And I must tell our audience that we will be the first to bring the Bolojo Crony down to Lagos. So a Bolojo Crony from Yewa stroke Benin, right? Because if you look at Yewa, they have a very good culture, very strong there. So that's what we're doing. So we have that. We have the family charity. We have a concert, a major concert. We have the gala night. So all these activities. But flagging it up with Wole Soyinka there. And Wole Soyinka really, for one reason, this is the first African Nobel laureate, intellectual capacity, cultural depth, and moral clarity. You cannot take that away from him. And this is somebody who has been at the forefront of interrogating power, history, and humanity. And that is why, again, we believe strongly that this is the man to flag off our anniversary celebration.
Okay, Vice Chairman, I know that, there's, you have a Unite, you have Suya Night, you have Family Night and all of that as part of your programs. But the main criticism of Yoruba Tennis Club is that the main objective now is not just tennis. That what members of Yoruba Tennis Club do is just politics. So this intellectual engagement, they say, no, it's a place where some people sit down and think they can determine the future of Lagos or the political career of certain individuals in Nigeria. Are you guilty as charged?
I'm sorry, honestly, I'm not aware of that.
You have not heard it? No, okay, I'm telling you now.
Well, you see, like I said in my opener, I said, we are opinion leaders. You see, culturally and from what I've seen over time, you seek knowledge, guidance from people who are able to give that. And that is embedded in Yoruba Tennis Club. We have a lot of resourceful people, who are in the judiciary, who are in the medical line and everything. So we are political. we don't engage in politics at all. But we will invite you to come and showcase yourself, speak to issues, contemporary issues, and you can be sure that we are not, by any chance, aligned to one party or the other. You see, but by constitution also, every governor of Lagos State, is our vice patron. So what I'm trying to tell you in effect is that when our current president was also the governor, was also our vice patron. And likewise, he has, of course, he could decide to be a member also in his own right. We have quite a number of people who are members and also who have been vice patrons of the club. So you see, interchangeably, one could say that it's just a misuse of intentions. We are not apolitical, but we support what is good. Yoruba Tennis Club is known for its uniqueness in every sense of it, and we are a very responsible set of people. To have been around for 100 years without any rancor of any sort, I think you should give us kudos. We've done very well.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you
very much.
Chairman,
Thank you.
100 years. I know there will be parties, there will be musicians and all of that. Are you inviting the general public or it is strictly by invitation?
Well, we have several activities. It depends on the one that suits the general public and all that. I mean, most of intellectual engagement, of course, is for the general public. Most of the cultural activities too, we want them, especially the youths, the young ones. And happily enough for us, our cultural activities that will come up when students will be on summer break. So we'll encourage them to come over to see a lot of the kind of culture we have. Is it food? Is it, the display by various masquerades around? We just finished the Yuadimu now. Most people saw the Yuadimu. They didn't see the other ones. And there are so many of such. So all that we'll put together, and as we go along, as we reel out our activities, we will fit into the one that suits the public and the one that is exclusive to members.
And when you invite the public, admission is free.
No, admission will be free, of course.
People won't have to pay.
No. You don't have to pay for that. Well, we're celebrating. So we're looking at the past 100 years and saying, we've done well, let's roll out the drums. Again, looking at the future.
Yes.
Where are we going? Especially, like I told you, with the demography now, really skewed towards the young members. And I must say, I give kudos to the young members. We've been lucky to pick the very, very good young members who are morally upright and who really understand the values and have keyed into the values. And this number one is Omoluabi.
On that note, Omoluabi note, I would like to thank you very much for joining us on This Day Live, the Sunday Talk Show, and wish you well as you celebrate practically almost the whole year on the occasion of the centenary of Yoruba Tennis Club.